Today, we're going to be considering removing a fundie from the new Fun with Fundies list. What is up, you heathens and demons? Welcome back to The Raging Atheist. I'm your boy Nakasuchi. Now, I have recently changed my Fun with Cult Bunnies playlist, my Dancing with the Devils playlist, and made a broader, more generalized playlist called Fun with Fundies. But before I did that, I watched this video. And before I watched this video, I thought about doing more Savannah Lewie videos for my Cult Bunny series. But every time I went to her channel, her videos just didn't seem as bad as the rest of the people that I was looking at. In this video, I don't really have too many problems with it, although she does say things that I obviously, as the Raging Atheist, have raged about in the past. But I find her message not to be that harmful. I find her to be a type of Christian that I feel like I might be able to like as a person. And I've offered her to have a conversation with me, of which she's responded. But then something happened, and I'm not so sure if she should come off the Fun with Fundies list. And we'll talk about that later in the video. But without further ado, let's look at Savannah Lewie.
Hey everyone! Today I am back filming another video and I'm just feeling so good about this year. This is the year, guys. I don't know what that means, but I'm just really motivated. Today I have an exciting video. It is actually a request that I got from a subscriber. She actually sent me a DM on Instagram and said, can you please do a video on how to be confident in your Christian identity? So I was like, I know that us two can't be the only two people who feel this way, so I thought it would be cool to make a video about how to be confident in your Christian identity.
And here I don't have a problem with people being confident in their Christian identity. I think people need to be confident in their identity, and we need to promote that people should be confident within their identity, or then you're going to have some serious issues when it comes to the mentality of those people. I think we should promote confidence in your mentality, in your identity, unless there are problems with that identity that need to be called out. And I know, what's the fine distinction with that, right? According to the identity of a Christian, maybe exactly what I'm speaking of would be like calling out a trans person for being themselves and dressing as women or men, or, you know, not dressing as the gender they were born to. But that's a different type of thing. You see, those would be problems with your mentality, problems with your identity that I would have to specifically call out, is the fact that you are discriminating against human beings for being different than you. Fundamentally, we should allow your identity to grow as long as that identity isn't infringing upon the identities of others.
So I guess to kind of address or explain what it is that I think that she's talking about, I feel like there's a ton of reasons or excuses that Christians can come up with as to why they're afraid for people to find out that they're Christians, or they're just not confident in their identity as a Christian. But aside from that, there's also this feeling sometimes that I get when I want to help someone. Like if I see someone struggling, or like they drop something all over the floor, you know, those moments where you feel like, should I go help them? Is someone else gonna do it? Like, and you just don't know what to do. And you almost feel like you don't want to like be annoying to like go do the right thing. Like, I don't know if I'm putting words to what this is.
I do understand, I believe, what she's trying to say. She doesn't want to fit that stereotype, or afraid that somebody would call her out for fitting a stereotype. Hey, I'm a Christian now, so now I'm gonna be that stereotypical Christian and just go out of my way to help the old lady cross the street, or carry her groceries home from the grocery store. You know, things like that. And I could see what she's saying, where there would be some hesitation. Will this person just look at me like some kooky religious person? Which in today's society could happen. Or, as she will talk about later, you could possibly be compared to more of the extremist types in your religion.
Sometimes you feel like people, well, maybe they don't want help, maybe I'm gonna bother them, like I don't want to be lame and go help someone. Like, I don't know why, but it just seems like kindness or doing the right thing sometimes can feel like lame, awkward, or weird.
And here I could quite easily become the Raging Atheist and call her out for even thinking that and not just doing the right thing. But I'm not, because she's actually being human. And she's expressing a very real problem. In today's society, doing the right thing sometimes, and a lot of times, is the unpopular thing to do. There does seem to be a segment of the younger generations, and this segment has always been there before, but I think this segment has expanded broadly recently, of pampered, self-righteous people who would honestly look at somebody helping somebody else as a sign of weakness. And that's something that we should call out in society, whether we be theists, anti-theists, agnostics, or atheists. This is something that I'm not going to get on her shit about.
Especially if you're a shyer person like myself. So I don't know if any of you guys can relate to that. I don't even know if I'm explaining that in the right way. But yeah, especially like as a Christian and like this past year really discovering who I am in Christ and like the fact that we're meant to be transformed into a new creation. And I feel like this last year, 2018, was really like momentous. I don't know if that's the word, in being transformed. And when that happens, you look different from the person who you used to be. So you might not have been someone who was like really nice or loving or like went out of your way to do nice things. And then when you're like transformed into a new creation and like the love of Christ compels you to do things and you actually start to love people because you're loving God now, like you want to do nice things, but sometimes there's like that little lie that creeps in that's like, ooh, you shouldn't do that, or they're gonna think that you're just doing that because you say that you're a Christian, but deep down they know who you really are.
And here, once again, I'm not going to get on her where I might get on other people for saying these things. I'm not going to go raging atheist with her, but I am going to disagree fundamentally with what she's saying, kind of. I think that part of the human experience is having transformations throughout your life. My disagreement is that you don't need God or Jesus to do so, that it is not God or Jesus transforming you, that we do this naturally throughout our life. I mean, anybody that's been watching my videos over the last year and a half on this channel could tell you that I have changed drastically, and probably for the better. I'm trying to be more empathetic and sympathetic to differing worldviews outside of what I hold dear. I'm trying to open myself to more types of people, making more types of friends. And I'm doing and making those changes without Jesus and without God.
Like, I don't know, just weird stuff, especially if it's like with family and like they've watched you grow up your whole life, they've watched you make every mistake that you've ever made, and then when you're suddenly like transformed into a new creation and you start doing new things, you're like almost embarrassed to do the right thing.
Again, this is not something that's solely in the Christian community. This is not something that, just happens to new Christians or Christians that have just been transformed into even a more fundamental Christian, whatever you're saying. My point with this video is I don't think that you're as fundamental as others, although I've seen something recently that might change my mind.
But it's a lie, because there should be a transformation from your life when you really accept the gospel and have that understanding. And I'm not even talking about getting saved for the first time, because I've been saved my whole life, but this past few years have been when I've really actually understood the gospel. There's a difference in being taught something your whole life and then actually understanding it and believing it, because faith is what's going to produce actual transformation in your life. And so when you are transformed, it's going to look different from your life before, and that's not something to be embarrassed about or shy about. It's something to be proud of because of what God has done in your life.
This often happens to atheists as well. Once we're new atheists, we're embarrassed about this new transformation. We don't speak about it. We're ashamed of it because of the theologies that still surround us, the people that still surround us that would look at us differently. Or we might be compelled to be more active, to be, just openly better than we were before as theists. But then we might wonder if that would call attention upon the thing we don't want to be recognized at this moment. See, these are all very natural things that human beings just go through, that you don't need God or Jesus to explain. But here is the gist of why I would like to speak with Savannah Lewie and why I think she is a much more acceptable Christian than most, at least from what I've seen of what she's put out. She is not speaking anything that I find to be atrocious. She does say things that I disagree with. And we could have some very calm, respectful conversations. I haven't heard her promoting a devil, and I haven't really heard her speak too much about how sin would put you in hell. I'm sure she believes these things. But I just don't see what she's putting out to be very harmful. And let's be honest, as the raging atheist, as hard as I go at theists sometimes, when I find somebody that I find to be less atrocious, well then I should make that fucking apparent.
And yeah, maybe people at first will be like, that's weird, like, she's acting nicer than normal, like, I don't know what she's trying to do, like, who cares what people are thinking? They're probably not even thinking that stuff. You just have to consistently show people, like, yes, I am actually different. This is how I am now. Like, God has transformed my life, and that can take time for people to see that transformation in your life, but when they do, you give all the glory to God, and it's really amazing.
Again, a fundamental disagreement that I'm going to have with her, and one that I rail against MMA all the time for. You should give the glory to yourself and take credit for what you do. It's very easy to prove that these things happen without Jesus or God. In my opinion, these are just natural cycles of a human lifespan. We tend to change as we go through our lives.
So another lie that I thought I should address was that a lot of times Christians can feel embarrassed for other people to find out that they're Christians because there's so many other Christians out there who are doing a bad job of actually representing Christ. And you don't want people to associate you saying that you're a Christian to them thinking that that means that all of the past hurts that they've had from Christians or the church in the past, you know, that means that you're like aligning yourself with those beliefs and their actions of people who misrepresented Christ.
And we come to the last clip that I'm going to use from this video. Now, I could have used a lot more clips from this video, made this really long, drawn out video, but this is the part that made me like, nope, I'm going to do a video on this video, and I'm going to do a very positive video to Savannah instead of a negative raging atheist type video, because I really liked what she just said. Of course, my mind immediately went to Matt Powell, Steven Anderson, douchebags like that. And I think she might be speaking about those types of people. People that are representing Christianity in the worst possible way. Yes, you might be embarrassed to admit Christianity to a person like me whose thoughts are going to immediately go to fucking Matt Powell, or go to Steven Anderson, or Jimenez, or any douchebag that's going to preach hatred. So I can totally understand and appreciate what she's trying to convey. She is actually drawing sides within her church. She is recognizing that a lot of Christians out there are giving Christianity a very bad name. Maybe Savannah Lewie doesn't belong in my Cult Money series or the Fun with Fundies series that I just put everything into. But then Paul and Morgan put out their new video. And I had already seen a video from the past where Savannah Lewie had worked with Paul and Morgan. Let's check this out.
What's up, guys? How you doing? I'm Paul.
I'm Morgan. I'm Savannah.
And I'm Braden.
And this is
The Paul and Morgan,
The Paul and Morgan Show. So today's video, we are revisiting birth control. We are here with Savannah and Braden. We feel it's appropriate that they be in this video with us. Why, guys?
We are with child.
Morgan, why did you pick Savannah and Braden to be in this video?
Well, we've kind of been on similar journeys with just the whole birth control. Savannah and I were both on birth control and then decided to get off of it, maybe for different reasons a little bit. We kind of just then gave it up to God to be our birth controller.
That's right. That's right. Savannah Lewie is in what appears to be a very controversial Paul and Morgan video. Not only that, she appears to be fairly friendly with Paul and Morgan. And here we have a problem. Now, I haven't watched all of that video yet. I think Mr. Atheist did a video on it. I haven't watched that yet. But here we're going to have a very serious problem if you are actually promoting not using birth control to other people. If you're going to promote letting God do it to other people. Now, from what I've seen, and I have watched part of the video. I haven't watched it all, but from what I've seen, I don't think Savannah Lewie's promoting that. I think that Morgan is promoting that more, and that Savannah Lewie had a different message. So I don't want to straw man her. But I would like to speak to you, Savannah, who did just recently watch my first video on you, and who might be considering having a conversation with the Raging Atheist. Your association with Paul and Morgan could very well lead you down a path of fundamentalism that I would be really sad to see you go. Now, I have recently just started doing response videos on Paul and Morgan, but my community finds them to be rather atrocious. They are fundamental people that do preach hatred towards gay people. They look down on Christians that don't practice Christianity in the way that they do. And they're just very snide, embarrassing people to be associated with, in my opinion. I'm not going to pretend to tell you who your friends should be. But I would seriously look at Paul and Morgan and decide whether or not they might be the type of Christians that you were just talking about. And this is why, where I was going to just absolutely take you out of the Cult Bunny series and the Fun with Fundy series that everything is now, but now I have to reconsider. Because of this association and possibly this video, well, you might very well belong in my Fun with Fundies playlist. I'm really hoping to have a conversation with you. Think about it. Get with me. I'll see you soon. What's up, guys? If you like my video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Share me on your social media. Comment in the comment section below. Hit the subscribe button. Watch what's next. Watch what YouTube recommends for you. Tell all your friends how crazy Nakasuchi is. I'll see you soon.